welcome to my channel. My name is Stacy. I am a full-time reseller, been doing this for over 10 years on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Bonanza. My main platform, however, is eBay. And today I wanted to just kind of show with you, I thought it would be fun to look back through my sales on eBay, share with you some things that I thought would be better, some things that were great sellers, and just any kind of unique things or things that I thought would be helpful to point out. Let me take you over to my computer and we'll go through some of the sales that stood out in 2024. My Little Pony, it's from 1984. Thought that, you know, it's a vintage original. Just goes to show you, just because it's a vintage toy does not mean you are going to get big bucks. This sold for $9. All my stuff is plus shipping unless I note that it's free shipping. Again, this one, it's a vintage Barbie set in box. It is pre-owned, but in box from 1995. So you would think like, hey, that's going to be a collector's. Yes. This one went international to Canada and it sold for $19.06. And I had it for 2 years before it sold. This one, look at how cute these Starbucks teddy bears are. I got this in 2019 after Christmas. So I did list it, but I didn't really expect it to sell until 2020. It did not sell, that's right, until 2024. It sold in August, so not even around Christmas. And these little bears, they were only 5 inches tall, but very cute. New with tags. Starbucks, I mean, come on, but they only sold for $8. And it took 4 years. Little over 4 years. Now let's go to some of the fun stuff, things to look out for, or that sold for a high amount. This one is just fun. I had to include it because I love office supplies, and just to show that even if something isn't perfect, especially if it's vintage, you can still sell it sometimes. This is a vintage Rolodex. It was missing some cards, missing some of the divider cards. So definitely not in perfect condition, and I still sold it for $20 plus shipping. I love when I can find these, although I don't find them very much. The vintage kind of chiffon 90s robes, house coats type of things. This one, some of them do sell for more depending on the color and the brand. This one though, I still got $45.99 and it sold the same month that I listed it. This just goes to show you just never know. This one, it did take 4 years to sell, but I got $14 for it. It's 32 of the pin brooch class. It was from my craft stuff and I didn't need it anymore. Thought, well, I'll throw it on there and see what happens. And eventually it did sell. Now, if you don't have a lot of inventory space, I wouldn't recommend keeping this for this long just for $14. But it was listed, I had the space. This is very unique too that I wanted to share. Again, some of these unique things are going to be hard to find, but I thought that they were kind of cool, unique ones, so I wanted to share with you. This I got at a garage sale. It was the vintage coffee unopened, so I did put prop in the title. I thought that that might help it. It did end up selling for $31.88. Now this did take some time to sell. It sold via promoted listings. I listed it in December of 2023 and it sold in May of 2024. This I wanted to include just to show you that not everything has to have a brand name to it. Sometimes when it just looks cool, it's enough. This was my own personal vase and then I decided don't need it anymore. Had it when I was married, trying to, declutter, purge that stuff. So there was no label to it. No brand name, and I put art glass, as you can see, pattern. So this one I put vase and vessel in it because vase is what I think of it as, but in today's term a lot of people refer to a vase as a vessel. So this is where it's important that you want to have maybe a couple different keywords of how you think the buyer is going to be searching for it. I listed this in January and it sold in June and for $30. Oh, and I was so excited. I actually found this at the thrift shop, a St. John's jacket. I was so tempted to keep this one. But yes, I listed this in January and it sold the same month via promoted listings. And this was one of my best sales, sold for $245.99. I do not find St. John very much, and not all of them will fetch this price. But if you find St. John, especially the evening, it's worth looking at. I personally love when I can find vintage 80s prom dresses. Now, depending on the style, the color, the size, the brand, can all make a difference if you're going to get $20 for it or well above $100. If you can find a gunny sack dress, those go for usually at least 80 bucks. This one, though, I was still happy. It's from JCPenney's. So here's a description example of where you can see JCPenney's. I did not put that at the beginning because that's not really one of the important aspects of this. And I ended up selling this for $59.99. Now this one, and it did have a little stain on it. I listed this in November of 2023. It did take until January of 2024 to sell. So not too long, but a little bit. But I love those kind of dresses. This has got to be one of the coolest sales. And again, I was tempted to keep this one, but I didn't need it, and hopefully this person, it makes them happy. But how cool is this? I got this off of an online auction, so I did pay up for this one, but the Vintage Libby's Toy Grocery Store, isn't that cool? It sold for $195. I listed this in December of 2023. It sold in August of 2024, and I just think that is so cool, and I just love when I can find these vintage things like this, that I just know like somebody out there is just looking for this, and it's just going to make somebody's day to be able to find this. Do you find that where you think like, ooh, this is going to make somebody so happy? Like, what are your highlights of either your sales that were or your highlights of your sales that like was just so cool to find and so you were just so excited about? Drop them in the comments. A brand that you should be on the lookout for, this was the first time I found this, but Mandalay skirt. It looks nice, but I just thought, okay, it's pretty, it's purple, it's got satin, it's got lace, but I was kind of surprised when I looked this up, this brand. It sold for $75, and it was a quick seller. It sold the same month that I listed it. So be on the lookout for that brand. I hope that this was interesting and beneficial. Make sure if you aren't already that you hit that subscribe button. Next week's video will be some of the pros of being an online full-time reseller. So you don't want to miss that. And I'll see you in the comments. Thanks. Bye.